Okay, speaking of good information, possibly bad, see what I did there? Okay, so you guys might remember back in the day, I did a lot of these segments on TikTok and how TikTok, the Chinese-run company, which a lot of teenagers are using now currently, one of the most popular social media apps in the United States, currently beating Instagram by Facebook's own data. Teens spend 3 times more time on TikTok than they do on Instagram. Well, they were going on a big hiring spree of all of these Republicans, and I found that interesting. One of them, his name was Michael Beckerman, a former Republican staffer, worked at the Internet Association. This man has previously posed for magazine covers in which he was like drinking and having all these multi-$1,000 products, just to give you an idea of who this individual is. Hired gun of the extreme, kind of a clown. Well, he appeared recently, and he's the first TikTok official ever to appear before the United States Congress. He's the head of public policy. He was pressed repeatedly by Ted Cruz. Do you share information with Beijing? Basic question. Something that TikTok has denied repeatedly. But remember, this is before Congress, and this is under oath. And just take a listen to see how this went.
Is Beijing ByteDance Technology a, quote, other affiliate of our corporate group, as your privacy policy defines that term?
Senator, as I pointed out before, my answer is the same.
Yes or no? You didn't answer.
Senator, I appreciate you're trying with gotcha questions.
It's not a gotcha question. I'm asking about your policy.
I'm just trying to be truthful and accurate about the
Are you willing to answer this question, yes or no?
Senator, I answered the question.
You have not answered the question. Is it another affiliate, yes or no?
Senator, I stated a number of times that entity is a domestic entity within China for licenses there. And
apples are red. You stated something that is not the question I asked. Is it another affiliate as defined under your privacy policy? Yes or no?
Senator, I answered.
You're here under oath. Are you going to answer the questions?
I answered the question.
Or were you instructed not to answer this question?
No, Senator. I'm just.
So you're just not refusing to answer it because you don't want to?
Senator, it is not affiliated with TikTok. That's your question, and that is the answer.
So your answer, I want to be clear because you're under oath. Your answer is that Beijing ByteDance Technology is not a, quote, other affiliate of our corporate group, as your privacy policy uses that term. This is a legal question with consequence.
Senator, I understand the question. As I pointed out, TikTok is not available in China. That is an entity that is for purposes of a license of a business in China that is not affiliated with TikTok.
So for the record, you're refusing to answer the question.
I believe I answered your question, Senator.
Yes or no? Tell me which one it is. Just give me one word, yes or no.
Senator, I answered the question.
You're not willing to say yes or no.
It was not a yes or no question. I want to be precise.
Okay, is this company another affiliate as defined in your privacy policy? That is binary. There's not a maybe. It's yes or no.
Senator, the way I answered, I'm not aware that is the answer to the question.
Okay, so you're refusing to answer the question. That does not give this committee any confidence that TikTok is doing anything other than participating in Chinese propaganda and espionage on American children.
Senator, that's not accurate. And again, I would point you to
if it were not accurate, you would answer the questions, and you have dodged the questions more than any witness I have.
This is very important, Krystal. And look, I know it's Ted Cruz, and I cringe too whenever he talks. So, I'm sorry. But this is very important because what they get to, TikTok likes to say, we do not share any information with the Chinese government. The reason that Beckerman will not say that, as defined under their privacy policy, that ByteDance, the corporation which owns TikTok, which is here in the United States, is because if they admit to the fact that they share data with ByteDance, who owns them, by the way, then they are admitting which ByteDance, which is a CCP-controlled company, this is not me saying that, their CEO has apologized publicly before to the CCP for not treading the party line. Their own company holds doctrination sessions where they go over CCP ideology in their headquarters. All of this is a matter of public record. The reason he won't say that is because if he admits that they do share that data, then you are de facto quasi-admitting that you are sharing your information with the Chinese government. Now, maybe you're cool with that. Like, maybe. And, I think a lot of people probably are, if you were going to be honest. But the fact that they can't answer that publicly just tells you a lot, I think, in terms of this company wants to do everything it possibly can to try and obfuscate who they are. That's why they tried, remember, that there was this whole forced sale business under Trump. And if you really want to show Trump was a miserable failure, it's the fact that TikTok is still even available in the US, even though he said he was going to ban it because he tried to do some like force sell it to Microsoft or something instead of just banning it.
And, then they just sort of stopped talking.
Yeah, and then they were like, well, we screwed this up legally. Never seen that before from the Trump administration. And then they just kind of like moved on quietly from all of that. I think this is the perfect example of how you can, these people, number one, get away with it. Two, the problem is Ted Cruz a good faith actor? No. Like, let's all be honest. This is all just becomes culture war over the Senate, over China, and I guess, I mean, I appreciate it because at least you got an answer from him under oath, but are you really gonna see this elevated to a case where there might actually be some action? No. If anything, I think this probably makes it harder for the Biden administration to even try and do anything about it because then it looks like they're allied with Ted Cruz, and I think it's part of the problem, really, whenever we talk so much about this issue. And look, if you really do care about data privacy, and I'm not saying U.S. corporations are great actors here, okay? But at least here the FBI needs to pretend to try and get a warrant before they try and get your data from Facebook or Google. Over there, there's no such thing. Do you really want a foreign adversary to have access to the data and preferences of your children and you? There are 80 million Americans who use TikTok every single day and spend over, like an hour a day on the app. There's a lot of data in terms of what they know about you. They know you better than you probably know yourself. That's the whole point of the algorithm.
So I want to make sure I understand the issue correctly. So they have a thing in their privacy policy that effectively says, like, we can share data with our affiliates.
That's right.
And so what he's questioning him on is ByteDance one of your affiliates?
Yes.
Because if the answer is yes,
then they share data with
that means they share data with them. And that's why he's doing everything he can to avoid answering that question. Oath. And the CCP, I think they have a seat on the board and own a stake in ByteDance. They're intimately involved.
Well, it's complicated. So in terms of the seat and the board and all that, they don't even need that because the company cannot exist without a license. So they grant the license. And you can't get the license unless you're in compliance with CCP doctrine and ideology.
The thing that I guess that I take away most from this is like, God, these tech CEOs just lie through their teeth routinely.
Yeah, they do.
Routinely.
All the time. Yeah. Before Congress.
Before Congress on major issues of importance. I mean, Zuckerberg and the Facebook executives routinely lied about how their platform works, especially with regards to that elites are treated differently than the masses on their platform. They lied about knowing, like we now know that they are aware that Instagram causes a lot of harm to teenage girls and really like destroys their self-confidence and and creates, eating disorders and all these issues. Like they studied that, they knew that, and then they were like, no, we don't know. It could be, who knows? We know with Amazon, like we know that they said that, oh no, we don't use third-party seller data at all to reverse that to engineer our own products. We don't favor our stuff in the algorithm. Like they just will routinely misrepresent or outright lie, or this guy was, trying to dodge the question altogether. They just are completely not straightforward about their business practices.
And Congress doesn't do anything, the government doesn't do anything
about it.
Yeah.
And, with the TikTok and China, I just sort of feel like all our data is already so for sale to the highest bidder in every aspect of our life, like whether it's the federal government spying on us, whether it's corporations and the way that they, package and sell your data, whether it's like these Israeli firms that can literally, infect your they can infect your phone without you even like clicking on a bad link or a bad email or anything like that. It just feels like there's absolutely no privacy left whatsoever. And then you have places like the New York Times that are effectively cheering on this direction, where they're like, oh, now we need to go after encrypted apps because there's unfettered conversations, remember that term, happening on these encrypted apps as well. So it's really disturbing. I mean, just everything that you do and say can be taken and used and, sort of weaponized against you personally, whether it's to manipulate you or get you to buy a product or whatever it ultimately is. So that's what's sort of really depressing about it. But
I find,
Yeah, but the last thing I'll say is like, we have this fiction in America that the way that these businesses get ahead and the way they succeed is they create a great product and they compete in a marketplace and the cream rises to the top. And so the best products, the best companies succeed. And what a lot of this actually reveals, and this is a Stoller point as well, is it's not free and open competition. It's a lot of like, how can I cheat and get away with it? How can I rig the marketplace so that I'm the only actor who can possibly succeed? And if you talk to CEOs who are honest, they'll tell you like that is the CEO training. It's not how to compete in an open and fair marketplace. It's how to rig that marketplace. And effectively that sort of competition is for suckers and losers.
Yeah, that's true.
The real winners are the ones who rig it to their advantage and make sure that they can dominate the marketplace and effectively establish a monopoly. And so it's no surprise then that when that ethos of cheating and law breaking is rife throughout corporate America, it's like the beating heart of corporate America, that you have CEO after CEO come before Congress and just blatantly lie or dodge or obfuscate.
Yeah, no, it's all very true. I think there's a book, The Surveillance Economy. I forget exactly who wrote it. It gets to much of what you're talking about. I recommend people go and check it out. But this really just shows the conundrum and the absolute just weakness of the US state, which is that you have this app, which is controlled by the CCP, which is now one of the most popular ones in the US. Our president at the time, idiotic president, tried to do something about it, but did it so foolishly and so terribly that everybody just accepts that this is the case. They can lie and before Congress, or at least de facto admit that they are controlled by a foreign adversary, and nobody will do anything about it. That is just, that's America to me, the story.
Yeah. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching.
That's right. Just as a reminder, you can become a premium subscriber today. Watch the full show completely uncut, our reactions to each other's monologues. You get to listen to it. You get to ask us questions, all that good stuff. Link is right there in the description or at breakingpoints.com.
Best of all, great way to say screw you to the mainstream media.